Welcome back, Geico Outkick Studios. Hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I want to say this right off the top, by the way. Decent gambling weekend in the NFL, but we had really cool offers. And I don't know, Dub, did you ever sign up for this and take advantage of any of this? Like, we gave, it was really cool on Sunday, and I talked earlier about the fact that I went to the Bears and I went to the Titans game. They had an offer at FanDuel where you could bet $1 and win 100. Just pick who's going to win the game. And so I heard from a lot of people who signed up and had won. And to me, it's a really cool, fun thing to do. Doesn't cost a lot of money. You should be going and signing up at fanduel.com/clay. They're going to be doing a lot of really cool offers now that sports gambling is legal in the state of Tennessee, where I live. And I even got my mom onto the sports gambling app. She was like, I want to take advantage of some of this stuff. So she's got it on her phone. You can go get signed up right now. There are going to be tremendous offers coming this week for, in particular, the Titans game against the Colts. And you can sign up, by the way, in Indiana, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Tennessee, Iowa, Illinois, also Colorado, West Virginia. I believe that's 8 different states I just ran through right now. And right now you can get a $1,000 match. You can't lose. $1,000 back offer, up to $1,000 on your first bet. All you have to do is go sign up at fanduel.com/clay. That's fanduel.com/clay. Okay, speaking of college football, best game that took place over the weekend. I tease this. What a win for Notre Dame. Notre Dame, if you are a Fighting Irish fan, you had lost so many games that were big-time contests. I believe I have the data that I jotted down here in front of me that I wanted to hit with you. And first of all, Notre Dame fan, you deserve to be able to enjoy this game because there have been so many good games that you guys have lost. Notre Dame had lost 11 straight and 19 of its last 20 against top 5 opponents, as well as each of its last 5 top 5 matchups. And I know because I bet on Notre Dame in a bunch of those games. So I was really impressed with the way that Notre Dame handled all of the, basically all of the beef from Clemson on the offensive and defensive sides of the line of scrimmage. Because that's where Notre Dame has typically been falling apart, is they haven't had the horses on the lines of scrimmage to really be able to line up and go head-to-head with them. But this is pretty interesting now when you look at the numbers, go inside the numbers. First of all, DJ, and I still haven't learned how to pronounce the new Clemson star quarterback backup for Trevor Lawrence, came out and passed for 439 yards. Ujalele, I think that's kind of close to it. I apologize for massacring that probably. But they actually were really good in the passing game. But Clemson ran the ball 34 times for just 39 yards, despite the fact that they have probably the best running back in college football right now in Travis Etienne. And despite the fact that that is the scenario, Notre Dame ran the ball 41 times for 209 yards. So when you actually break down what was going on, Notre Dame was winning the line of scrimmage. Now, what does this game tell us? First of all, again, congrats to Notre Dame. It tells us that the Irish have a chance now to eliminate Clemson in the ACC title game. And that even if Notre Dame loses, they are squarely in the mix to be one of the 4 college football playoff teams. I really do think that it would not be a surprise at all if Notre Dame gets in. So this was a monumentally massive win for Brian Kelly, for Ian Book, for everybody on that Fighting Irish sideline. Now, what about Clemson? Well, first of all, this just continues to bring home to me the absurdity of this Coronabros universe that we live in. It makes no logical sense that Trevor Lawrence is able to get on an airplane with his teammates, fly to South Bend, stay in a hotel, eat all the meals with them, stand on the sideline interacting with his teammates for the whole game, and not be able to play. There is so much absurd cosmetic theater. And this obviously has already hit the Pac-12. It's already hit Wisconsin and the Big Ten. So much absurdity with Cal not being able to play, with Utah not being able to play, all of it. There isn't a single person out there listening to me right now who thinks that these rules make sense. How can Trevor Lawrence travel to South Bend, stand on the sideline, not play. Doesn't make any sense. Also, I'm sick of all the Coronabros out there who are arguing anytime there's somebody protesting something that they agree with or celebrating something that they agree with, they're fine with it. Huge crowds all over the place celebrating Biden being called the winner of the presidential election. People are cheering it on. They're like, this is fabulous. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I love all these parties. This is amazing. Notre Dame storms the field when they beat Clemson, and the same people are like, oh my God, this is a disaster. How in the world is this happening during COVID? Listen here, Corona Bro. You're either opposed to anybody being able to do anything during this COVID situation, and so you have to ridicule people out in the streets celebrating because their preferred presidential candidate won, as well as ridicule all of the kids who decide to storm the field and celebrate at Notre Dame, or you have to acknowledge that it's fine and that people have to live their lives. Now, I think you know what side of the equation I'm on. I'm on the, hey, guys have to be able to live their lives side of the equation, but you got to come down on one or the other. You can't be a hypocrite. Either you are terrified of the fact that people are out in the streets celebrating because their preferred presidential candidate won, or you aren't. Either you are terrified about college kids storming the field and celebrating and going to football games and tailgating, or you're not. Okay? We can't have this blatantly hypocritical situation where if you agree the reason that somebody is happy, it's okay. Or if you agree the reason somebody's protesting, that's okay. But if you disagree with it, it's not. It's just absurd. And I thought the Notre Dame celebration epitomized the ridiculousness of the Corona Bros and the fear porn that they have embraced. So that is where we are in the larger context there. But Notre Dame now squarely in the college football playoff picture with a huge win, and Clemson now is going to have to win the ACC championship game because if they lost to Notre Dame again, they're out of the playoff. And that would be unfortunate for Trevor Lawrence, there's no doubt. But that's the way this situation goes. So Clemson's back is up against the wall a little bit as we think about what might happen in that ACC championship game. And Notre Dame would have the chance to deliver a knockout punch to Clemson in that game. Okay? That's one big takeaway. The other big takeaway is Florida absolutely whipped Georgia. And if you heard me on Friday and on Thursday, I told you my blood bank guarantee for college football was that Clemson was going to go, that Florida was going to go out and the wrong team was favored in the cocktail party. I don't even understand, having watched all of the games Georgia has played and all of the games Florida has played, I don't remotely understand how you could possibly favor Georgia in that game. Stetson Bennett, nothing against him. Give him credit for being able to step in when Jamie Newman decided not to play, when something a little bit wacky's going on with JT Daniels. I don't know exactly what's going on with the former USC quarterback transferring. I don't know what the story is there, but Stetson Bennett is the very definition of a game manager quarterback. The problem is Georgia doesn't have a lot of offensive talent. And you knew that Florida is just stocked with talent. Kyle Trask should be a first-round quarterback. He's big, he's strong, he sees the field well, he's running dynamically that Florida offense. Tony is super difficult to tackle. Kyle Pitts should be a top 5 pick. I think he should be the first receiver or tight end off the board. He's a freak. Now, he took a big hit over the middle, and that seemed to stifle a little bit the Gator offense, but not surprised there. But he is a freak. All of these guys, you roll together on the Gator offense, and this was an easy call for me. And now Florida eliminates Georgia. Dan Mullen gets his first win in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and Florida now, I think, should finish 9-1 and should find themselves in a position playing against Alabama to potentially beat Alabama. Should be a really high shootout. Lots of fun to watch. Mac Jones from Alabama go up against Florida and Kyle Trask. Dan Mullen against Nick Saban. I think Alabama, who opened, by the way, over 3 touchdown favorite over LSU, I think Alabama will be 10-0 in that game. They will have absolutely nothing to lose, except maybe the overall number 1 seed, depending. And Florida should be 9-1, and it should be an epic battle. And if Florida were able to win that game, I think they would make the college football playoff. And if Alabama wins, I think they'll knock Florida out. And so as you come down the stretch run in the playoff chase, I'm going to get into this a little bit more at the top of hour 2, but I think what you've got is clearly Alabama is the best team in college football. By the way, 13 straight seasons, I'm going to build on this too, Alabama has been the overall number 1 team in college football. It's an incredible accomplishment. At some point in each of the last 13 seasons, Alabama has been ranked number 1. I think that is a record that no one listening to this right now will ever see matched in our lifetimes. That's how unfathomably impressive I think it is. All right? So Alabama, I think, is in. I think that Ohio State's going to be in. I don't see anybody in the Big Ten that can actually run with them. I think that as you break down the ACC, the winner of the ACC championship game is going to be in. I would still make that more likely Clemson. And then I think you got a bunch of teams that are hoping to be the 4. I think you got Florida, who's hoping to get in. You have got Notre Dame. You have got Texas A&M, who a lot of people are sleeping on. Oklahoma State on the outside, and maybe a Pac-12 team like an Oregon if everything broke completely well for them.